want to go ahead and welcome Matt from eUnited. Matt, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Tell the folks at home a little about yourself. What do you do? What do you say? What do you be?
I'm currently the general manager at eUnited. I was a former professional Call of Duty player and started as a coach, worked my way up as coaching all of our console games, and now I'm general managing with Dan Clarkey. He handles the PC side, I handle the console side, and we help each other out, and we've created a really good home for all of our players.
So you represent the NA side, or the NA professional team, eUnited. Give us your role in the organization, like who you guys are, what you guys do, what you stand for.
So our motto is unifying esports fans and players. I focus on recruiting, handle their contracts, their travel, just not necessarily babysitting, but just making sure that our players are showing up on time.
You facilitate.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's the grown-up way to put it, right?
No, all of our players are great. It's just making sure that they're keeping the professionalism of always showing up on time, making sure they're doing their job at events, and I try to help out on everything in between of getting them their snacks, their waters. Like, I want them to win, and any type of load that I can take off of their plate that can help their mental game in the game, that's what I try to do for them.
You're setting them up for success.
Exactly.
Basically. Okay,
I was late for Inside Xbox on Monday, by the way. So throw that out there, and I was in trouble. I need someone like you.
Right there. So eUnited teams, you got Call of Duty, you got PUBG, you got Smite, you've got Gears. So given the recent history of eUnited only being around for like about 2 years, which is still relatively new, obviously, how did you build your teams, and what goes into finding the players? You're mentioning recruiting. Let's talk building, let's talk recruiting and scouting.
Yeah, so our strategy is really about molding our amateur talent around veterans. We feel like that normally works out.
Yeah.
We're not the type of org that just buy out the best talent there is and make sure that we have players that are guaranteed success. We really like to work up from the ground floor and make sure that we're building players into superstars. So that creates a relationship where they're able to really ignite with our brand and hopefully keeps them for the long run, because we're investing in them and we expect them to invest in us too.
Now, speaking of your teams, your Smite team won the Smite World Championships and was rewarded with an in-game skin.
It's great.
Which is absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
Again, we're doing the wrong things. I want an in-game skin. So we've seen developers start to, they include more and more esports like teams in the scene into their games and whatnot. Do you think this trend is going to continue, and where do you see it headed?
I feel like it's absolutely crucial, and I need to shout out High Res real quick too.
Yeah.
They did an outstanding job with their skin. They were involved. They had the players fly out to their studio and do in-game voices and this and that. They absolutely set the bar, in my opinion, in terms of how a developer is really supposed to be engaged with a team that wins worlds or is in their community in their league. So big shout out to them. But to answer your question, it's absolutely crucial. It creates a relationship where our organization can branch and really do more with the developer. It gets our players involved. It keeps our social team on check and making sure that we're giving our fans something to rep our organization inside of the game itself. Instead of just buying jerseys or whatnot, they can actually be a part of eUnited in the game. So it's really big.
Okay, so obviously we're esports here. eUnited's goal is to be the best, right? To be the best. But what does that look like specifically for eUnited? You were talking a little bit about that, growing from, bringing people from the ground up and bringing those veterans along with them. What does being the best look like in eUnited's mind?
Every organization is wanting to win championships. I feel what's really separate us is creating entertaining experiences for our fan base. It really feels like all of our teams have somehow magically worked their way to be really funny. They have really good personalities. They like to meme and have fun. They're super supportive and they actually interact with their fans. And those types of experiences are what last a lifetime, in my opinion. So winning is great, but making sure that we're still having fun at the end of the day and interacting with our fans at events is what's most important.
How would you define those fans? I mean, I'm sure you've seen them, all over the place. Like, describe your community. Describe the people you guys interact with daily.
I will say that our fan base is extremely loyal. They're supportive. They defend us. Like, if there's any type of criticism that's shared from another organization, because we like to have fun on social media a lot. We take risk on trying to just not, we're like crossing that borderline of being savage, but we just like to have fun with other.
We're not full Wendy's?
Yes, not full
Wendy's.
Wendy's would be great, and they do a great job with their social media, but we like to have fun, and even if that's getting some backlash, we'll take it, and we'll have fun with other organizations, and that sparks some new rivalries and fun, and it just creates something to talk about before events. And our our supporters, they have our backs. Like, they will defend us if another organization tries to say something, or if a player does something, they always have their back. So I can say that they're not afraid to like stand up for what they believe in, and they're all around just always have our backs, which is great. That's
so you're talking about community, you're talking about events. What give me the profile of the fan, the eUnited fan that you want wearing your colors at that LAN tournament?
Anyone that will invest in us will invest in them. So if they're buying our jerseys, I will always take the time to go out of my way to just talk to them for 5 minutes and just see what they're about, what their goals are. And I feel like that's mostly all of our staff members and our GMs and our owners. We will take that extra time and not like necessarily have big egos, but really just learn what they're trying to strive to do in the community and give them the best advice that they can to work their way up and to whatever role they're trying to do, whether it's become a professional player, find a marketing job inside of an organization. We're all working 12 to 14 hours a day just to find players and everybody at home. So.
Now, speaking of work, let's say these people that are looking for eUnited or trying to get involved in the scene or trying to catch up with what you guys are up to. What tournaments? What's coming up for you guys in the near future?
Oh my gosh, I can't even keep up.
I was gonna say, how many games are you talking about? Yeah.
A couple. Throw a couple out there.
Maybe just give us the next couple months.
So
I don't know.
actually, right after this, I'm going to Call of Duty World Week, Anaheim.
So you're heading right down the road.
Yeah, so it's about a 40-minute drive. I'll be managing our COD squad, and hopefully they can bring home a championship. Smite is in their season right now. Hopefully they keep it up, and they'll be qualifying for the next Masters tournament that's coming up on top of Worlds, which is right around the corner as well. Our Counter-Strike team is flying to LA for a boot camp. They're preparing for another minor that we got invited to. It's the Zotac Cup. Then PUBG is going to, the list goes on and on. Our PUBG team is flying to Burbank for ESL. They just got, they made like the top 20 teams of North America. Top 3 go on to the PGI. Big, I think it's $1 or $2 million tournament.
Yeah.
Then we have Battlerite, which is in their off season currently. And then Gears of War is also going to NOLA next month. So in between going to Columbus for our next Division B of Call of Duty, I'll be flying to NOLA as well.
Okay.
I actually,
Go.
I didn't tell the Gears of War guys that was supposed to be a surprise, but I actually haven't.
This is the perfect place to let them know.
I plan on flying down and in between our season and just like saying hello, because I haven't had a chance to meet our 4 new pickups yet.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome.
Brilliant, man. Well, hey, listen, this is the question we get, and we're going to ask it to everybody.
Yeah, we're going to ask everybody.
Because this is kind of a tradition over here. Why do you love esports? What do you tell people who are curious, skeptical, perplexed about it? What do you give them as the answer for why you love it so much?
I feel it's like the origin of almost everyone that's in their current position has been doing this when esports was nothing. We were playing in our basements. We were taking our Xboxes over to our friend's house and just having late night gaming sessions. And
the net cafes.
Exactly. And somehow that passion just magically turned into everybody flying to tournaments, competing for money. And for my age level, since I'm 26 right now, I feel like a lot of other pros that are around my age can relate to this. Like, getting our parents on board was extremely hard. Now that esports is so mainstream, it's easier to tell your parents like, hey, this player's making this much and this streamer's making this much through donations and subs. But 8 years ago, it was very hard to like persuade my parents, and they finally had my back. My mom has always had my back, and my dad was a little bit on the edge sometimes, but more or less it's just cool to see that parents are definitely more supportive of their kids trying to pursue
parents. We grew up in gaming now.
Yeah.
Say go ahead and do that thing. All right. Well, thanks a bunch, Matt. We appreciate it.
No problem.
And
Thank
then
you for having me.
where can people find more about you and more about eUnited?
I am Potthoff. My last name is on Twitter. I somehow found that when I got verified, which was great.
Nice.
But feel free to follow eUnited on our socials. We have a YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all that good stuff. So.
Brad, Matt, thank you very much
Thank you so much,
for being
Kate.
here.
I appreciate it, guys.